Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Is Kyle Abbott finally ready to move on? He's at a romantic crossroads. According to spoilers and updates for the young and the restless, Kyle Abbott just had a terrible heartbreak when Newman dumped him. Considering that Claire seems to have found love again, Kyle might be about to find love again as well. Kyle might discover a new romance sooner rather than later. Viewers have observed that Kyle has finally been exposed for his lying. Newman has been pushed away by his kiss with Audra Charles and his agreement with Victor Newman. Even though Claire has broken up with Kyle and may be dating Holden Novak, played by Nathan Owens, Kyle isn't prepared to let go of Claire just yet. He might not be able to realize it yet, but another possible love interest might be waiting for him. Kyle has turned to her mother, Victoria Newman, for assistance in trying to win Claire back. Victoria has been helping Kyle figure out how to get her daughter back, and they have been spending more time together. But things could go completely in a different direction if the roles are reversed. That being said, things could go in a different direction. Victoria and Kyle might connect as they spend time together and talk about love. After all, Victoria, who is currently unmarried due to Cole Howard's passing, is also going through a similar tragedy. Given that misery loves company and that spending time alone can be reassuring, it's feasible that they will become closer as they both mourn their lost loves. Fans may be less interested in this plotline because Victoria and Claire are mother and daughter, but other characters in Genoa City have experienced similar circumstances. Ashley Abbott once sacrificed Ben Stitch Rayburn for her daughter Abby Newman, as fans may recall. What comes around goes around. Victoria has previously appeared in similar storylines. Victoria has already been a part of similar plots. Cole had an affair with Nikki Newman before he began dating her. Victoria later wed Brad Carlton, who had previously been her mother's fiancé. Her affair with JT caused this marriage to fail, who was seeing Colleen Carlton, her stepdaughter, though it seems improbable that Victoria would betray Claire in this manner, especially because she is attempting to assist Kyle. It would provide for some interesting drama. It could even cause Claire's character to take a bad turn and become less virtuous. We now know that Roger Howarth's new character is a villain. According to spoilers for the young and the restless, Roger Howarth, a seasoned soap opera star, will soon make his CBS soap opera debut. According to additional rumors, the actor began filming in mid-September after Deadline revealed in August that he was traveling to Genoa City. Howarth will soon be on canvas as the daily drama is being filmed weeks before it airs. However, the character he will portray has been kept under wraps by the production. Will Howarth be a villain or a hero? The storyline of LA. 2 additional soap opera veterans made their debuts during the week of October 13th to 17th, and they are intertwined with Noah Newman's Los Angeles plot. Noah's parents, Nick and Sharon Newman, are extremely concerned about his condition after he was involved in an apparent intentional vehicle accident. In the midst of all of this, Nick answered Noah's phone when Tamara Braun-Sanna Bacall, who made her debut in the Tuesday, October 14th episode called And Detective Burrow, played by Matt Cohen, made an appearance in the Thursday, October 16th episode. Sienna has a relationship with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, and at least knows of Audra Charles, which is another intriguing turn of events. What is actually happening here? Burrows told someone in the Friday, October 17th episode, likely his boss, who might be Howarth's character, that he isn't actually a police officer. Howarth's portraying a villain. Howarth is the last new cast member to remain after their debut. Burrow will probably be a villain because it's difficult to deny that the person he was speaking to on Friday was Howarth's character. Additionally, he might still be portraying Tucker McCall in a recast, and Tucker has gotten himself involved in some dubious activities in Los Angeles. It would be fascinating to see if Howarth plays for #Team Baddie or #Team Good Guy, as Tucker alternates between being a villain and a hero. A story of unexpected connections, redemption, and heartbreak in Genoa City. Kyle Abbott is one of the few characters on The Young and the Restless who has perfectly personified both charm and heartache. Fans are split over Kyle's most recent dramatic outburst, which shows that he is a man who is continuously torn between love, devotion, and his own destructive tendencies. What many thought could have been a redemptive arc for Kyle, a chance to finally ground his restless heart in sincerity, was wrecked by his separation with Claire Newman, Haley Aaron. However, as viewers are frequently reminded by history, Kyle Abbott rarely takes the easy route. Claire appears to have found comfort elsewhere, perhaps in the arms of Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, after discovering Kyle's deceit. However, the issue still stands. Can Kyle follow suit as she does? Or will he end up reliving the tragic cycles of love that have afflicted his family for many years? Kyle's demise, the repercussions of self-sabotage and secrets. There is nothing new about Kyle Abbott's path to emotional self-destruction. Kyle's incapacity to strike a balance between ambition and genuineness has been a concerning trend since he was first introduced as the self-assured heir to the Abbott tradition. His involvement with Audra Charles and his covert activities with Victor Newman, the patriarch who can outsmart almost anybody in Genoa City, are the causes of the most recent misery. Kyle's intentions may have initially looked clear. He desired to prove himself to Claire, his family, and the others. However, his choice to make a secret agreement with Victor, while kissing Audra against her, will reveal a deeper weakness in his personality, a persistent impulse to manipulate events rather than have faith in emotional integrity. Claire's response to learning the truth was prompt and determined. Unwilling to sacrifice her morals for another man entangled in the Newman-Abbott conflict, she called it quits on the romance. Fans who had thought that this combination would ultimately help Kyle grow were devastated, as was Kyle himself. The afterlife of Claire Newman. When Claire leaves Kyle's life, a hole is left that is difficult to replace. In contrast to his past partnerships, Claire embodied a grounded love that pushed Kyle to develop. Neither his charisma nor his Abbott name impressed her. Rather, she called for openness. In the end, that quest for the truth proved to be their downfall since Kyle's tendency to plot behind closed doors damaged her confidence. Kyle vacillates between regret and denial in the aftermath. His actions give the impression that he is caught between wanting to make up for his mistakes and worrying that he won't be able to make any lasting changes. In his desperate attempt to win Claire back, he has turned to her mother, Victoria Newman, for unanticipated advice. It's almost poetic in its irony. He creates the conditions for both healing and possible chaos by turning to the mother of the lady he deceived for guidance. In Genoa City, as viewers are aware, closeness creates opportunity and occasionally controversy. Victoria Newman, reflecting Kyle's anguish, having experienced romantic tragedy herself, Victoria Newman turns into an unanticipated mirror for Kyle's inner anguish. She struggled with loneliness beneath her calm demeanor after the death of Cole Howard, Eddie Peck, leaving her emotionally bereft. What starts as a simple act of empathy slowly transforms into something more complex when Kyle looks to her for direction. There is a lot of emotional subtext in Victoria and Kyle's interactions. Both are mourning lovers who have been betrayed and wasted time. Both have inherited their family's unrelenting desire, frequently at the price of their own happiness. And in a world of deception, they both yearn for connection, something real. It becomes increasingly obvious that a spark might ignite the more time they spend together. Fans are kept interested by the uncertainty around whether that spark results in healing or devastation. Could Victoria, who has experienced comparable emotional upheavals, recognize in Kyle a reflection of the young woman she was, someone who was determined to make love and legacy work? The prohibited attraction, a risky prospect. If Kyle and Victoria fell in love, it would surely lead to a scandal that might rock Genoa City to its foundations. Not only is Victoria Claire's mother, but she is also older and descended from the Newman family, who are frequently at conflict with the Abbotts. It would be dramatic and a compelling storyline if she fell in love with Kyle, her daughter's ex-boyfriend. However, moral complexity has never been avoided in The Young and the Restless. It actually flourishes on it. Supporters remember the similarities, such as when Ashley Abbott gave up her position to pursue Ben Stitch Rayburn in favor of her daughter Abby Newman. For example, Victoria's marriage to Brad Carlton, who had previously been engaged to her mother, Nikki Newman, is an example of how she once discovered love entangled in generational webs. By their very nature, soap operas examine both taboo and redemption in equal measure. If Kyle and Victoria go too far, it might lead to one of the most contentious yet intense plotlines in recent Y&R history. Emotional similarities and love cycles. The possible bond between Victoria and Kyle would be a study in cycles rather than just a matter of desire. Both characters fall in love with persons that reflect their own dysfunctions, trapping them in recurring emotional cycles. Kyle's craving for approval and control has ruined his relationships time and time again. Victoria has a tendency to select men who offer stability but end up causing mayhem. Kyle's emotional development is similar to Victoria's in many respects. Her previous involvement with JT Kyle's journey with Claire is reminiscent of a relationship that started out as passion but turned into manipulation. Both of them thought that love could mend damaged relationships, but they later discovered that timing and honesty are far more important than intensity. This connection could serve as both characters' redemption narrative in the show. Instead of being a scandal, it might develop into a potent examination of healing. The notion that two individuals who have been similarly damaged can mend one another, provided they have the courage to face their shortcomings. Claire's response: a spark of disagreement. There would be severe emotional repercussions if Claire learned of rumors of a Victoria-Kyle relationship. A multi-layered struggle that tests forgiveness, self-image, and familial devotion is what viewers may anticipate. Claire may be thrown back into the cycle of treachery she has long feared, despite her best efforts to distance herself from her mother's errors. A plot like that would also make Claire more relatable. Even though she frequently conveys purity and strength, it would be interesting to watch her deal with jealousy and rage to see more depth in her personality. Would she face the hypocrisy of her own emotional boundaries, or would she be angry with her mother for betraying her? In any case, there is a great deal of room for dramatic confrontation. Misery loves company. Is it good or bad? One basic fact: misery attracts misery is the foundation for the friendship that develops between Victoria and Kyle. Either mutual destruction can be intensified or an unbreakable bond might be formed through shared sorrow. Both are feasible in this situation. Their mutual sorrow over a lost love offers solace, but solace can quickly turn into dependence. Blurred boundaries between them could result in regret or revelation as they confide in one another. Victoria's empathy and maturity may provide Kyle with the stability he has always wanted. Victoria may feel a tenderness she had previously suppressed come to the surface as a result of Kyle's vulnerability. Such relationships rarely remain innocent for very long in the volatile emotional environment of The Young and the Restless. Roger Howarth's comeback, a potential new enemy. As Kyle struggles romantically, Genoa City prepares for yet another upheaval, the eagerly awaited debut of Roger Howarth. Fans are extremely curious about the Emmy-winning soap veteran's coming, particularly because rumors indicate he will play a villain. According to reports, filming started in the middle of September. Thus, Howarth's debut will be on screens shortly. Although the identity of his character is still kept under wraps, hints strewn across previous episodes suggest that a dark plot is developing in Los Angeles, maybe related to Noah Newman's unexplained automobile accident. Once thought to be an accident, the tragedy now appears to have been planned. Here comes Detective Burrow, or the man posing as one. His dubious dealings and covert phone conversations give the impression that he is a participant in a bigger plot, most likely planned by Howarth's character. A complex network, the Los Angeles narrative, the LA. A complex web of deceit has been woven by the introduction of multiple new characters in the tale. Holden Novak and Audra Charles are directly related to Sienna Bacall, who made her debut on October 14th and serves as a link between several characters and subplots. Suspicion grew when Nick and Sharon Newman learned that the man looking into Noah's crash wasn't a legitimate detective. The enigmatic boss Burrow reported to, who is thought to be Howarth's role, gives the program an exciting criminal undertone. This development raises the possibility that a wider scheme that might jeopardize several families may eventually converge with the current romantic upheaval in Genoa City. It's conceivable that Kyle, Claire, and Victoria will become entangled in this new storm in some way because Y&R stories are intertwined. Is Howarth a villain or an antihero? Roger Howarth is a valuable addition to the ensemble because of his extensive experience in daytime television, which includes appearances in As the World Turns, General Hospital, and One Life to Live. He was well known for portraying morally gray characters, and he could play a villain with surprising nuance. He may be a recast of Tucker McCall, returning with a darker motive, according to some fans. This notion is believable because Tucker's name has just come up again in relation to dubious activities in Los Angeles. Howarth's presence is expected to raise the stakes, regardless of whether he is a brilliant manipulator of events from behind the scenes or a charming scam artist with ulterior intentions. The bigger picture: Kyle's story is affected by the new villain. Romance and intrigue frequently clash in soap operas, and this plot is no exception. Kyle's efforts to start over could be thwarted once more if Howarth's antagonist works in the same Los Angeles network as Holden Novak, Audra Charles, and Sienna Bacall. Imagine Kyle, who is already having a hard time moving on from Claire, becoming caught up in a risky plot connected to her new lover Holden. Kyle would have to decide between justice and jealousy, retaliation and atonement, as the moral and emotional tension would be intense. Furthermore, Victoria's involvement might make matters more difficult. Being a strong CEO, she may find business connections that link Newman Enterprises to the Los Angeles area. Corruption ring, placing her and Kyle right in the path of the bad guy. Themes of redemption, love, and power. Fundamentally, this developing story examines ageless themes, how ambition and love may combine to become both a blessing and a burden. A deeper human truth, the difficulty of letting go when the heart still longs for what it lost, is embodied by Kyle's struggle to move on. His sorrow is reflected in Victoria's, showing that wealth and status cannot keep someone from feeling alone. Both are forced to reconsider what love really means in light of Claire's possible new romance. Additionally, the appearance of a new antagonist guarantees that outside forces will continue to try their resolve even as they look for personal atonement. Looking ahead, Kyle Abbott's future prospects. This might be the start of Kyle's most revolutionary arc to date if he is indeed at a turning point. He must face his need for control, his fear of being vulnerable, and his mistaken notion that love must always be gained by manipulation if he is to break free from his cycle of dishonesty. His willingness to adapt will determine whether he rekindles his relationship with Claire, finds fresh love with Victoria, or stays by himself for a while. Growth, not perfection, is what the audience wants. Kyle's future depends on his capability to accept accountability without losing hope. Victoria's character may also be redefined by her emotional journey. She might come out stronger if she decides to put compassion before scandal, demonstrating that sometimes the most unexpected sources can bring about healing. In conclusion, imperfect love can be beautiful because they capture the messy, gorgeous complexity of human emotion. Soap operas like The Young and The Restless continue to be popular. In a plot that feels both timeless and tantalizingly new, the pain of Kyle Abbott, the loneliness of Victoria Newman, the tenacity of Claire, and the approaching villainy of Roger Howarth all come together. After all, love never stays the same. It changes, rekindles, disappoints, and evolves. And if they dare to confront the truth, even the most broken hearts can find their way back to hope in Genoa City.